I know many of you attend Mass here every day, and many of our viewers and listeners attend this Mass every day or listen to it. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, didn't we just have this gospel passage a week or two ago? The 12-year-old girl who's raised from the dead, and the woman who had the hemorrhage for 12 years being instantly cured. Are they running out of stories in the Bible? Can't you give us some more? That's what I was thinking when I read it last night. I was thinking it. And here's what's going on. There are 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 3 of them basically tell the same story. Those are called the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Today's Gospel is from Matthew. A couple weeks ago, it was from either Luke or Mark. And so I don't want to give the same homily I gave. Well, actually, I would like to give the same homily I gave 2 weeks ago, but I'm not going to. I'm going to give something different. And I'm going to focus on just one phrase that comes out in Matthew's Gospel. And it's this: and the official knelt down before him. In the Gospel of Mark and Luke, they use different phrases. They say he fell at his feet. But in Matthew's Gospel, we're told he knelt down before him. The official from the synagogue knelt down before Jesus. And when I say that, in your mind, your imagination, you probably picture something a little bit different from falling down at somebody's feet. So think about that for a moment. This man has just lost his 12-year-old daughter. This man has just lost his 12-year-old daughter. We don't know if he had other children. We don't know what she was like. Or perhaps she was sweet, and she was kind, and she was helpful, and she was holy, and she was humble, and she was the apple of his eye, and she died. He had to be inconsolable. He was desperate, and he ran to Jesus and knelt down and begged for mercy. It's very hard to comprehend this in so few words. I remember going to the emergency room with a young couple who had just lost their 2-year-old son. He went to bed at night and didn't wake up in the morning. They were literally inconsolable. And finally the mother said to me, how can we go on? How can we go on? Those of you who have children, I see it in your mind thinking about this. Because in the gospel, we only have a few words. But if you really think about it, say, oh my goodness, what a situation. And Jesus was able to read this man's heart and his mind and fill in all the details that we're grasping for. He is begging for mercy, and this man teaches us how to beg for mercy on our knees. That's adoration. At Mass, we have 3 postures. We stand, we sit, we kneel. It's all prescribed in there. Basically, and this is a simplification, but it's only a 6-minute homily, we sit in Mass when we're listening to the words and inspirations of the Holy Spirit. We stand when we're praying to the Father, but we kneel when we're in adoration of Jesus in the most blessed sacrament. That's when we kneel. And Jesus, as you can see in that stained glass window, is the source of mercy. Why kneel? Because kneeling is a dramatic demonstration of humility and vulnerability. When you're kneeling, you're saying, you're greater, I'm lesser. You're God, I'm the creature. And that actually gives us security being in that relationship. I wrote about this, and then we made it in one of the videos. There was a Steven Spielberg movie, I don't know, the 80s or 90s, about the Empire of the Sun. And there's a scene where an American boy comes upon some American soldiers getting beaten up by enemy soldiers. And the boy throws himself into the fight and tries to push these people back. And he's like a little kid. And the enemy soldiers look at the boy, they're about to kill him. He gets down on both knees and bows to them. And their anger is overcome because he's begging for mercy. I think it's something very important for us to be mindful. in terms of our posture in the liturgy. Everything's very, very deliberate. But the way to find mercy from Christ is on our knees, especially knees in adoration.